Hi, I'm Alex Mobley.
My name is Allison Childs, and we wrote The Effects on Supported Conversation for Adults with Aphasia, SCA, on graduate students in experimental study. This is just an overview of our table of contents that outlines our presentation. SLP graduate students often face challenges communicating effectively with people with aphasia. Aphasia is classified as a disorder resulting from damage to portions of the brain responsible for language. Aphasia affects a person's ability to comprehend spoken and written language. Effective communication with individuals who have aphasia is a crucial skill for graduate students in speech-language pathology to develop. Due to challenges involved in interacting with people with aphasia, our goal is to explore rather the supported conversation for adults with aphasia, SCA approach can improve graduate students' communication abilities and increase their confidence in clinical settings. Looking in a little deeper to supported communication training, this helps individuals with communication disorders like aphasia express themselves using alternative methods such as gestures, pictures, writing, or communication devices. It encourages active participation and trains communication partners, examples including family or caregivers, to use simple, clear questions and visual cues tailored to each person's needs. SCA aims to improve communication, reduce isolation, and boost confidence for both individuals with aphasia and their support networks.
So the reasons for our study, the first one we have here is addressing communication challenges with aphasia. So SLP graduate students often struggle to communicate effectively with individuals with aphasia due to the disorder's impact on language comprehension and expression. So this study explores whether SCA training can enhance students' skills and improve communication with individuals with aphasia, addressing this critical gap in clinical practices. So the second one we have here is boosting confidence in clinical interactions. So many SLP students feel unprepared or have a lack of confidence when working with individuals with aphasia. This study examines whether SCA training can increase students' self-reported confidence and improve their effectiveness in clinical interactions with people with aphasia. So improving communication partner training is our third one here. So the effectiveness communication partner training, the CPT, such as SCA, which is a type of CPT, can enhance interactions between individuals with aphasia and their communication partners. This study assesses whether SCA training can better equip SLP students with the necessary skills to facilitate meaningful communication, benefiting their professional development.
Effective communication with individuals who have aphasia is a complex process that requires specialized training and techniques. Supported conversation for adults with aphasia is a method designed to improve communication partners' ability to facilitate meaningful interactions. This literature review synthesizes findings from 5 key studies that explore the impact of communication partner training on enhancing graduate students' skills and confidence in working with individuals with aphasia. The studies included in this review employed a variety of methodologies, including systematic reviews, controlled trials, and mixed method approaches. Common elements across these studies involved pre and post assessments, video analysis, questionnaires, and qualitative interviews. These methods provide compelling evidence for the effectiveness of CPT programs and offer a strong foundation for the current study. By combining both quantitative and qualitative measures, these studies ensure a comprehensive evaluation of the training's impact on communication skills and confidence. These are the articles we use in our meta-analysis on the final research paper that helped our results. There are just 5 listed below.
So our hypothesis for this study was to evaluate the impact of Aphasia Institute supported conversation for adults with aphasia, the SCA, communication partner training, and on their confidence and communication skills of 25 speech language pathology students when communicating with people with aphasia.
These are sections of our materials used. The first is standardized emails invited graduate students and persons with aphasia to participate. Consent forms outline participation details, confidentiality, and potential risks or benefits. An SCA training was done, which is a 1 to 2 hour training session with instructional videos on communication strategies for interacting with persons with aphasia. This focused on acknowledgement, support, and checking for understanding. Confidence and knowledge questionnaire. Part one was background info, which is age, prior experience, and part two included 8 items on expectations and emotions. The MSc assessment evaluated communication skills like clarity and turn taking in student and persons with aphasia's interactions. Audio and video recordings were done on conversations for objective analysis. Statistical software analyzed pre and post training scores to measure the impact of SCA training. These materials provided a standardized approach to ensure reliable results for our study.
So the design of our study, it followed a quasi-experimental approach and included both pre and post test measures. So the quasi-experimental design is a research approach used to assess the impact of an intervention or treatment. But unlike a true experimental design, it does not involve randomly assigned participants to treatment and control groups. Instead, participants are assigned to groups based on pre-existing characteristics or natural circumstances. Pre and post measures, quasi-experimental studies often use pre and post intervention measurements to assess the changes in the dependent variables before and after the treatment or intervention.
For our procedure, it started with the study design, which is where the pre and post quasi-experimental design to assess the impact of supported conversation for adults with aphasia, training on graduate students' communication skills, confidence, and knowledge. Participants completed a pre-training confidence survey assessing self-reported confidence and perceptions of communicating with persons with aphasia. Students engaged in a five For the pre-training, students engaged in a 5-minute conversation with one of the 3 randomly assigned persons with aphasia. Minimal background information about the persons with aphasia's interest was provided. Conversations were recorded by an uninvolved peer to ensure unbiased documentations. Recorded interactions were analyzed using a minimum speech competency assessment, evaluating skills, life acknowledgement, support, and checking for understanding. For SCA training, students participated in a 1 to 2 hour SCA training session. The training included reading instructional materials and watching role-playing videos to learn effective communication strategies. Students had a second conversation with the same clients from the pre-training session to control differences between people with aphasia. Post-training conversations were recorded and analyzed using the MSc assessment to measure improvements in communication skills. A post-training survey was done. Students completed the same confidence survey as in the pre-training phase to reassess their confidence and knowledge. For our data analysis, pre- and post-training measures were statistically analyzed to determine the effectiveness of SCA training in enhancing communication skills, confidence, and knowledge.
So our results. So the results indicated significant improvements in students' communication, competency ratings, post-training from pre-training, following the supported conversation for adults with aphasia. That was the training. So in this order, we conducted the Shapiro-Wilk test to check for normality. We did the descriptive statistics to summarize the data and get the mean, the range, and the standard deviation. Bear with me on this one, the Cronbach's alpha, which was used to check the reliability of the questionnaire. The pair t-test, which tests for statistical significance of changes. The Cohen's d evaluated the practical significance of changes, and the repeated measures of ANOVA analyzed was not used. The study found that SCA communication partner training significantly improved speech-language pathology students' competency and communication skills when interacting with individuals with aphasia, as evidenced by increased competency questionnaire scores. Which for this, the Cohen's d was 0.18. The MSc scores had a Cohen's d of 2.1. The MSc scores and the questionnaire scores had a p-value less than 0.001. These findings highlight the effectiveness of SCA training in enhancing key components essential for working with this population.
For our discussion portion of our research, we wanted to break it down into 3 different categories. The first being the study aim and design. This study evaluated the impact of SCA communication partner training on the confidence and communication skills of 25 first-year SLP students. Participants interacted with 3 volunteers with moderate aphasia using a pre and post quasi-experimental design. Students completed a confidence questionnaire and engaged in conversations with people with aphasia assessed by the Minimum Speech Competence MSC tool. After SCA training, participants repeated the questionnaire and re-engaged in a post-assessment conversation. Key findings of this study found that SCA training significantly improved SLP students' confidence and communication skills with people with aphasia. After the training, students showed a higher confidence, the Cohen-Steeb being 1.8, and better communication confidence, with the Cohen-Steeb being 2.1. Demonstrated the effectiveness of SCA in enhancing their clinical abilities. And for effect size, the study found a large effect size for both confidence, Cohen-Steeb being 1.8 and communication skills being 2.1 after SCA training, showing significant improvement in SLP students' abilities. These findings highlight the practical significance of the training, boosting confidence and competence communicating with people with aphasia, making them better prepared for real-world clinical interactions.
And these are our resources. Thank you so much.